Hello, my name is Yewande. Welcome to Knitting the Blues. Thanks for popping in, I guess. Um, I am a writer and a knitter based in Johannesburg. And this podcast is all about mostly what I'm knitting and have been knitting, but also very much about the community around me of yarn dyers, knitwear designers, and fellow makers. I love to talk about community and the collective spirit that we all share as lovers of fiber. Let me put it that way. So, welcome. Thanks for being here. Today is all about. I put a video out this is January, by the way. I think it's the 3rd of January, I know. It's the 3rd of January, and I put a podcast out towards the end of September last year, 2025, talking about my spring plans. And of course, months have passed, spring has passed, we're well in summer. It's a strange summer, but it is summer here in Johannesburg. And I wanted to come back to this space and account a little bit in terms of what I actualized and what happened. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm filming at night. The lighting is a bit different. I know my face might be cast in shadow at times as I turn around. I hope it is more arty and not annoying. Do let me know, because if it works, it's nice to know I have the option to film at night, because sometimes that's the only time I have. I'm looking down. I'm looking both at my trusty notebook that's still going strong, although I'm going strong. Bits of it have fallen out. You know, the glue that binds it all together, but that doesn't matter. I've taken some notes for today in here, and I'm also looking down at my computer. I am looking at my Ravelry page with all the project details so that I can talk about it. And I will be wearing the completed items, and I'll be putting little B-rolls, I think, here. Let me scooch over a little bit. Sometimes you get to edit and there's not enough space for the B-roll. Okay, so in the spring plans, I said I would make the sabai top, the poppy tee. I said I would make the Belize tee, that's by Fiber Tales, the Zukanye dress, I said. I thought I would make a classic silk open cardi, another one, because I'd already made one, but I really liked it. And then I wanted to make the CN sweater, which is just gorgeous. I liked the La Tulipe tee. I was kind of eyeing it, the lace is just exquisite. The Marielle blouse was really attractive to me. And then I thought, the New Star cardigan, I kind of hummed and hawed about, and the Olymp vest, I don't know how, Olympi, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. I also wanted to make some emotional support chickens for my I have 5-year-old twin boys, and I wanted to make them one each. So that's, I think, all I said in the video. That's what I talked about and what I said I would do. And I want to tell you what I did and didn't do. So, sabai top I made. It's this excellent pattern by Suzanne Müller. I think it was quite a popular pattern. It probably still is, but definitely when it came out, it was popular. Many people have made it. I'm looking down as I talk. That's why I'm looking in the corner. And I made mine with, it's a Rowan cotton yarn. I'll put the details. And I made it in this beautiful blue. I love the top. I wear it a lot. I've worn it a lot since I made it. I like it because it feels quite elegant, like it's quite smart. So I can wear it to work. I mean, to work, I sit at my desk and I mostly work remotely. But yeah, I can wear it to work and be at the desk and look, I think, at least put together. But it's also not too fancy that I feel wrong wearing it, on a weekend day. It's not super casual in appearance, at least by my standards. But but I love it. So yay, tick. I said I would make a poppy tee by Petite Knit, and I did. I made my poppy tee out of beautiful knotty habit yarn. It's this gorgeous marine, I don't know what you call that. In my head, I want to say marine blue. I'll put all the details in the notes, but it's this gorgeous, gorgeous blue color. And I made it, it's in the Knock Your Socks Off yarn base, which is, it's got some nylon in it, and otherwise it's superwash merino. Gosh, I love that thing. Again, I wear that. Now, I made the full length sleeve. I don't know why I chose to do that. I think for me, my rationale was it is a fair, even though it's fingering, it's going to be a warm garment. You know, I live in South Africa. We do have quite cold winters, and then warm, but like short winters. Let me say it's a short winter, even if it can be quite a severe one at times. And so I just thought I would get more wear out of it with long sleeves, because in summer I wouldn't wear it because I think I would be too hot. Whereas if it's long sleeves, I could wear it almost throughout the year, except summer. But I could wear it in spring, autumn, and I could definitely wear it in winter with layering it. So I don't know. I think I made the right decision. And I love the top. I love the fit. I love the shoulders. I've talked about it as a finished garment, so I won't go on too much about it today, but just to say I love wearing it. And I mean, it's now probably getting a little too warm for it, so I haven't worn it in a while, but when it, all through the year, towards the end of the year, once it was made, I wore it all the time. So that's another tick. The Belize tea. So the Belize tea is this lovely pattern by Fiber Tales, and I feel like I put it on my list almost just out of a desire to make something of hers, because I love her podcast and I love her kind of personality, but I mean I love her designs as well, and I haven't made anything of hers, and I think I was just desperate to make something of hers. But when I looked a bit more at it and I read up a bit more and I thought of this, I think I had just made the Tolster tea. I'm a bit of a careful spender. Just, I don't know. Like a little funny story. My name is Yewande, which is a Yoruba name. I am Yoruba. And Yewande is Ya Wamide, which means mother has come to find me. And I was born, in a way, I was born as my grandmother, coming to find her son. And my father, he's passed on now, but he used to tell me that that I'm tight-fisted, just like his mom. Anyway, I just, I spend money wisely, which I think I shouldn't be embarrassed to say that. But so I just thought a bit carefully about the pattern. Should I buy it? Should I not? Is this really the one I want to make of hers? There's so many that I like. Why did I pick this? It's cute, but so I talked myself out of it, basically. So of course you may have guessed, I didn't make it. I talked myself out of buying it. I wasn't convinced. I just thought, nah, there were so many other pieces of hers that I love. And I think as winter comes around eventually, I think I will be making a few of her things. The thing, while we're on the topic, we may as well, there is a sweater of hers that I must make, although it scares me, and it's called the Favo sweater. Look at that. I mean, I'm a texture nut, and I love cables, and I think this thing is exquisite. I'm scared to make it because I think it's complicated, and I don't know that I have the right yarn. She knits a lot with some of the yarn, I think, that from like sheep that grew on her parents' farm or something, and really rugged wool. And this would, I would need to think hard and find the right yarn for this, but boy, do I think that thing is exquisite. The other thing that gives me pause, though, with it is it's got that interesting shape and it's very cropped. Anyway, I've really digressed. let's go back to what the whole point of this video was, which is not to do a pattern roundup of fiber tails patterns. We can do that another time, but to move on. So, okay, Belize tea cross. Didn't do that one and will not be doing it, and it's okay. Zucchini dress. Listen, I'm making it. I'm about 30%, or maybe that's because they're pockets. Maybe I'm 20-25%, but I'm pretty much at the waist, and I've done all the top. Well, you can see me here trying it on. It's glorious. It's really beautiful. It's working out really beautifully. I'm just about to actually stop because she gives the instruction that you should stop at the waist just before you do the pockets and block a wet block to check that it's not going to stretch out or whatever, and then come back and do the pockets. In fact, I hope cleverly, because she doesn't say, I don't think, have decided to stop and do the, what do they call this thing now? The neckband, and do the arm, the ribbing that goes around the armhole, just to manage the way in which those two features often lift a dress, lift a garment, and then check back to see if I've really got to my belly button. Like she says, stop just above the hips. So I'm sort of saying belly button. And then we're going to do the pockets. I'm very excited about the pockets. I'm very excited. I think pockets are radical. Okay, but the point is, it's a work in progress. So I haven't finished it, but it's coming. It's a work in progress. I'm doing a vlog on it just to, mark it even more by doing a vlog, and I'm enjoying that. So, yay, that's happening. Tick. Well, tick. I'm not saying tick that it's done, but tick that it. I said I would do it, and I'm doing it. Next, classic silk open cardi. So this I still intend to do. I haven't started it. And what stopped me is like getting the right yarn. So I have different yarns, but I don't seem to have enough. It actually calls for a DK weight yarn, but when I knit it in a fingering weight yarn. And I remember now, it's a beloved garment, but it's full of mistakes and holes, and I got the seaming wrong, and I didn't do the increases well, and I remember why. It's because I wasn't on gauge, and so I was just lazy to like change the shaping, because it's very carefully shaped, very beautifully shaped, and I never got it right, and then I would forget. Anyway, the point is, it's fussy. And so I initially thought, oh yeah, I'm going to knit it in fingering yarn again. And when I started, I was just like, oh my God, this is so painful. I don't want to do this. I just want to follow the pattern. So I stopped, and I need to find DK weight yarn. And I don't think I have in one quantity of one color, let me put it that way. So I'm wondering if it's the kind of thing I could do with many colors, but I don't want it to be too patchy. I want it to be something that I'm happy to wear and isn't too patchy. I mean, could I turn it into a kind of a striped garment? I don't know. So the point is, it's on hold, but I do intend to do it, although of late, just like literally of late, like in the last week and a half, I've been thinking, this classic silk cardi falls off my shoulders very quickly. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, but it might be because I knitted in fingering. So, okay, again, I'm to blame. But maybe anyway, I'm rambling a little bit now, but I suddenly started having second thoughts, because I was like, oh, is it not a good pattern? Keeps falling off my, it's like if you, like the way I'm wearing this, my order of garter, which I love, the way I'm wearing this now, and even though it's open and not buttoned, it sits quite firmly on my shoulders, and it's not going anywhere. And the classic silk open cardi doesn't have any buttons at all, I guess, obviously from the name. But it falls apart, and I guess it falls apart now, I'm realizing, because I knit it in fingering, and somehow it's not. So yeah, so we're back to where we started. I will make it. I need to decide if I can stripe it, or if that's going to be weird, or if I need to buy yarn. I'm trying not to like buy lots of yarn at the moment and wait for the sale. So if I need to buy yarn, I'll just wait till like Arthur Bale sale or something like that. So that's coming, but it's not, I can't put a tick because I'm not doing it as yet, and I can't put a cross because I will be doing it. But it's like I put an arrow. You can help me with this. Is my, hope you understand my can you say nomenclature or my signs? Okay, CN sweater. Oh my goodness, this thing is beautiful. And guess what? I'm going to be making it. I have given myself a bit of a gift. I guess an early birthday gift. My birthday is in February. Basically, the point is, I have ordered myself some balls of knitting for Olive cotton merino. I can't believe it. It feels such a luxurious thing to do. But I think I deserve it. I think it's okay. And I'm going to make the CN sweater out of knitting for Olive cotton merino. I suddenly panicked, and I hope I bought enough. I bought six or seven balls, maybe six. Anyway, it's fine. I have a way to mitigate it if there's a problem. But I'm very excited. I ordered it, and my partner who's in Europe will come back with it when he returns, and I will start the CN sweater. I'm not even going to tell you what colors I picked, just to keep you guessing, and then when the time comes, we'll talk about it. But that's definitely happening and on the cards. It's just like I'm a monogamous knitter, so some of these were going to be like. So we'll see. And I liked my idea to make it out of cotton merino because I think I will get. It's a blousey thing. So I'm gonna wear it the way I wear the poppy tee, but it might be slightly cooler than the poppy tee, which means I could wear it maybe a little into summer. It's long sleeves, but we'll see. La Tulipe tea. It's beautiful. I just thought it was a whimsical addition to the spring plans. And when my accountant self, looked at the list and started, I just couldn't bring myself to buy it. I didn't know what yarn I'd make it in. I wasn't sure I would wear it all that often. I wasn't, I can get quite practical in moments. I think I'm actually quite a practical, down-to-earth person. I mean, there are ways in which I can be flighty, but I think at the end of the day, I'm fairly grounded and kind of like, what's it for? What will I use it? What will I make it from? Do I have it? Can I afford it? I'm that sort of person. So I didn't buy the pattern, and yeah, it's an X. So that's 2 X's so far, the Belize and the Tulip tea, which, by the way, it's still a beautiful pattern. I still gaze at it. I just thought, not urgent, not really going to make that. Okay, the Marielle blouse, which is gorgeous, but I'm still looking at it and wondering about it. Like, it's not off the cards, but I just, what? I have to really love it, at the moment, because I don't have tons of knitting time. Money is a bit of an object, so if I'm buying yarn, I want to know I'm making something that I'm going to love, I'm going to wear all the time. This is very beautiful, but I realized what I liked about it is the pointelle. I love that motif. So any pattern that has it has got me. And so I thought, well, let me look around, because there's several other patterns, of course, with the pointelle. I found the Vilma top, and I made it. And the other thing that was fun about the Vilma top, I didn't do it with the version I made, as you can see, but there was someone in the project page that made it into a full, what would you call that? Like a full cardigan, because she put sleeves in it. And I still think I will do that one day with the Vilma cardigan. I mean, with the Vilma pattern. It's so lovely. I'm very proud of myself because I think it's the most lace I've ever done in a pattern. So it was really my first full lace garment. Fine, it's a vest, so it's not too crazy because it's not the full arms and everything. But still, I mean, all the body, all the, what do they call that? That band at the bottom. She had a name for it in the pattern. I love this thing so much. It's kind of too warm to wear it now, but while it was still cool, I wore it every chance I got, and I will wear it some more. Yay. So Marielle kind of became Vilma. So we'll make that a tick. I don't know if you'll allow me to make that a tick. I'll make it a tick. Okay, we're moving swiftly along. New Star cardigan. It's nice, but it again, it was that thing of, is that the thing? Is that what I want to spend my time on? Is that what I'm? Again, it's the pointel in a way. It's not quite pointel, but it is. Yeah, it's got pointel. It's beautiful. I'll probably come back to it. I'll probably come back to it. It's very beautiful. I think I also sometimes get a little afraid if something hasn't been knit. So there are 5 projects. I'm like, I'm not that, do I like the way it's, I wasn't sure. I was just like, oh, do I like it? So if you're not, if I don't have that feeling immediately when I see it, then it gives me pause. And I am at a stage in my life where I listen to the pause. But it's still quite fabulous, a pattern, I think. And I still salivate over it and go back to it and think, should I? So again, if time, money weren't objects, then I would knit it up. But at the moment, yeah. So that's a cross. So that is the 3rd cross. So I think we're not doing too badly, Not that I make it sound like it's exams or something. It's not exams. But I just mean, I like the idea. I mean, I love the idea of having plans and fulfilling them. I think I love that. But I also like the idea of being able to change your mind. So it's fine. It's fine either way. The Olympi, feel free to, somebody who knows, please let me know, because I know I'm saying it wrong. The Olymp vest for me is still lovely, and I will still make it. I want to, hey, I mean, it's a scrappy project in the picture, but of course you don't have to make it as a scrappy project. Hey, I'm suddenly realizing, literally as I'm talking, that you don't have to make it as a scrappy project. You could make it just in one yarn. So she sort of does it in these scraps, like in this, and I love that. But you could easily actually do it just in one color. But I think part of its charm is that it is in scraps. So my issue is I'm waiting for scraps. I've just been through, I've actually gotten rid of a lot of scraps. So I'm not in a place where, but I think over, the first half of this year, I'm going to collect lots of different scraps that I can put together. I'll talk about this in a moment. I love those kind of scrappy, funky, kind of quirky projects. It's very much, I think, to brand, to my brand. So it's still on the cards. It's just got the arrow. It's not, I'm not there yet, and I'm waiting till I have enough scraps. The emotional support chickens, I have finished. They were lovely to make, really quick, because of course you're using such thick yarn. I think it's worsted weight, and my kids love them. Okay, I've had to just not be precious, because my son, one of my sons, holding one of the chickens by the neck, and I'm like, oh, it's misshapen. I stuffed it with kind of old acrylic yarn that I wasn't going to use anyway. I hope nobody is insulted that I stuffed it with acrylic yarn. But I think I did that as a temporary measure. I think I will open it up and put something slightly firmer and loftier in it sometime in the year when I'm able to purchase something that might be better. The kids were kind of keen to just have their chickens. So I thought, okay, let me just do this. And I sewed it up. The point is they're a great success. They love them and they're mad. I told them, okay, now you have to name them. And it's funny, I know some kids are just crazy about naming. We're not a big naming family. Like, my son's bunny is bunny. My son's rhino is rhino. So I was waiting for I said, well, you have to name them. You have to name them different things because you both have chickens. You can't say chicken, chicken. So today the name was Dragon King or something. And the other one's, okay, I'm Dragon Queen or something like that. I mean, something insane like that. I was like, okay, I'll see if it sticks. But that's a very firm tick. 2 ticks, in fact. Now, the other side of this is that I also did a bunch of other stuff, which is, I also went rogue and did a bunch of other stuff. And most of them were gifts, and I think that's the case with gifts. And I love the Caffeinated Granny. I really like her podcasts. I watch them and I like her vibe. And she said this thing that really struck me. And she said, knitting is a love language. And that explained something. It kind of explained myself to myself, because it is, it just feels so wonderful to knit something for someone you care about. Oh, I feel so wonderful. It's just a wonderful feeling, I guess, inside. And you think about the person as you're working away, and you thought about them if you had to choose the yarn, even if it's just from your stash, you're like, oh, is this color, or they'd love this, or or the pattern. Maybe it's a surprise, or maybe they've asked you to make it. I don't know, but there's so much love, of course, in the making of something for another. And so I found myself, I think the first thing I made that I went rogue on, let me look at my project page to get the dates right, yes, was the Mr. Ruesello the elephant. And that just, a colleague of mine who was having her little one that has since been born, a little girl. I don't know, I just thought, let me make, and I was going to be seeing them. All my colleagues are all over the world because we all work remotely. But occasionally we have meetings where we meet somewhere, and I was going to be seeing this colleague. And so I just thought, I'm gonna make something for the baby. And I made the elephant out of this beautiful cotton yarn that had come as part of a purchase I'd made. And they included these 3 bits of eco cotton. It's eco, I'll put the name of the company. Anyway, I had just about enough. I mean, I needed to substitute some other stuff in for the ears and so on, but I had actually enough to make the elephant. And yeah, gave it to her when I saw her, and it was sweet. So that was the first piece of divergence. Then there's a bunch of stuff that's not actually on my project. Sometimes I don't put, if I'm making something again, I don't put it in. Anyway, October happened. Which month? And October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I think it's also Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm not sure. And so my mom died from breast cancer, and I just thought, actually, my aunt had this great idea to do something in honor of my mom, or in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I did the Make It Pink make-along, which is the quietest and longest make-along known to mankind. Hi, anybody who's making it pink. I haven't forgotten you. I'm still making mine pink. And I had said we'll make it pink all the way to February. My mom died in February. Maybe, and her birthday is also in February. So, I mean, it could be marking her birthday, which is the 19th of February. So a little flag to anybody who's making it pink with me. I'll try and post on it, maybe on Instagram, and do a short just to keep the project alive. It is alive for me. It's a slow project. I'm making the Jupiter Mesh Tank free pattern, by the way. And I used up all the pink yarn I had, and now I'm just using other bits of mohair that I had. It's a sweet little project. I think the mohair is fine, because I've often felt like I have a bit of a sensitivity. I think this mohair is fine. It's different bits of mohair from my different times that I've interacted with mohair. I'm very interested in mohair, by the way. So I will be, through this year, if anything, I'm going to be buying mohair, but like mohair that I can wear. I'm curious about it. I think it's an interesting fiber that I've mostly stayed away from. And this project is sort of saying that maybe I can do a few things with mohair. Maybe. I also just love that we produce it in South Africa. We produce 51% of the world's mohair. I never miss a chance to remind everybody about that. And I just like the idea of, buying our local mohair and working with it. So that's gone. And it's, as I say, it's a long whip, and I will keep working on it till mid-February. I mean, I'm kind of 80% through. I think I'm just on the sleeve, and it is a bit sleeve island, particularly with single strand mohair. I'm knitting it 4.5 millimeter needles, so not bad. But yeah, it's taking some time. Let me think. I just want to look down here. The other roguish thing, I haven't really begun, but I bought the yarn for it, and that's the Cozy Classic Raglan. And I bought the pattern. It's by Jessie Maid. Something, I don't know, it just struck me, and I thought, yes, it's practical. I just liked it. And so I said, yes, I'm going to buy it. And I bought it. And I bought some Knotty Habit yarn to make it in. Very beautiful yarn. And I'll put some pictures of it. And it's kind of got some speckles in it. And it's mainly grey and then it's got these gorgeous speckles, and then I bought like a dark gray, so I'm going to make all the ribbing in that dark gray, and then everything else. So it's going to be fun and quite a lovely project. I haven't cast on. I bought the pattern, read the first page, and thought, okay, I'm not in the right headspace to do this. I've tried to philander and be polygamous with my projects, and I just fail all the time. I'm a one pattern kind of girl. So I'm currently loving the Zucchini, and that's my main, that's really my main thing, and I'm going to keep it my main thing. I need to wet block it. So if it takes a while to dry, I might dip, what might I dip into? I'm actually making a second lento. And I'm making a second lento because I made a lento early on. Like it was the second, third, whatever sweater I made. It's too tight. I just came to the realization it's too tight. So I'm actually going to, if I can, if it's not too painful, I'm going to unravel that sweater because I made it with this beautiful yarn, beautiful emerald green. I think it's emerald or dark emerald at least. It's beautiful green. And I will unravel it and do something else with that because it's just too nice not to wear. I wasn't wearing it, and that's why. And I'll make another. In fact, I'll be making it out of this gorgeous red yarn that I got from I'm going to say a local yarn dyer. I feel like he's undercover, but I think he's got an amazing talent and an amazing eye for color. And I know this is Knitting the Blues, but I've suddenly become at least a little obsessed with red. So I'll be making it out of this sport weight hand-dyed yarn. And I'll keep you posted. I know that this looks scary. It's all tangled, but it's fine. Don't worry. I am the detangling queen. I think all my patience goes into detangling yarn balls. Anyway, so that will happen. But I wanted to say the last two projects that I went very rogue on, I made 3 woodland warmers. I just made 3. Boom, 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 boom. I'd made 2 pairs before, one for me, one for my partner. And then a friend said, could I make one for a mutual friend? I said, sure. So I made that one. I remembered that a very dear friend of mine, we were housemates, she's an old friend. I'd made her long ago a pair of house slippers, but I just made it out of the wrong thing. And I think it lasted one winter, and I felt bad. I thought, okay, I'm going to make you some woodland warmers, and I'm like holding things double, and hopefully it lasts. So I made her a pair, and then it was my brother's birthday, one of my brothers, on the 24th of December, and I just kind of quickly decided I'd make him a pair of woodland warmers. So they were my 3, boom, 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 boom. And then I need to talk a little bit about the Ashburn, my Ashburn obsession. So I've made 4 Ashburns as we stand. This was the 4th. But I had come across the pattern before and loved it. It struck me instantly. It's by Melanie Burch, and it's just beautiful. And I just decided, boom, I'd do it. And so I bought the pattern and I started making it. And while making it, I thought, this isn't for me. It's for a friend of mine, a dear friend that I wanted to just send love to. You know what I mean? And knitting was the way to do it. And I finished that Ashburn. There it is there. And I posted it to her. And then my partner was about to go to see his family in Belgium. And I thought, I'm going to make my mom-in-law something. So I made her an Ashburn. And then I was going to be traveling to Cape Town with my kids for a little holiday, and I was going to see a friend there. And I thought, I'm going to make her an Ashburn. And I did. And then I thought, damn it, I want to make myself an Ashburn. And I did. This is the craziest of the lot because I really kind of went wild with my scraps. I told you I've done all my scraps. This is some of the beautiful yarn I used for the Vilma. I had a little bit left and I put it in here. It's a bit thick for the pattern, but I don't mind the change in textures, and I just put all sorts of things in this, and I just allowed myself to have fun and be whimsical and be a bit silly. And I loved this idea I got. I didn't do this for any of the others, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do the little, what do you call these, baubles at the end in a completely different color? And I did, and I think it's cute. And I even, look at the little sock yarn I had left over. So I think I'm all, like, I think I've used up so much. I don't think I have many scraps left. But, and it's warmer now, so I can't really wear this too much. I don't want to mess up the mic. But I wanted to show you a little bit when you, like, just how lovely that can look. But today was actually cold, and I have been feeling a little cold, so okay, let me try and do this like this. I don't know. Oh, missed the mic to the side a bit. Okay, that would do. So I'm really proud of these. I made 4 of them. It's my first, I know it's not like super sophisticated color work, but it's definitely my first slip stitch color work. That's it. That's the roundup. That's kind of how my spring plans went. I do have quite a few plans. I mean, some of those spring plans move on to now plans. You know, summer into autumn, I guess. As the weather gets colder in the next several months, I will think a lot about cables. I really want to get into, like, there's some cables. I will be making cables this year. I'll be making some sort of cabled something, because I think they're magnificent. I mean, the CN sweater has some cables in it, I think, and but like the real hectic heavy cables, I want to go for it and do some cables. But that's it from me, really. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been interesting. I have come to account to you. So that was really what this is, to come and account for my plans, to say what I actually did and where I went rogue, and just to share what's been going on for me. I will say goodbye for now, and I do wish you a lot of happy making as the year takes hold. If you want to let me know what you've been working on, maybe while you've been watching, or you want to let me know about the plans you'd made at the start of the last season and where you find yourself now in terms of those plans, please feel free to share. I'd love to hear. Till next time, take care.